Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of X Malice. Along Kei Okazaki's route, of course the guys are still being unsociable with him, and Kei has this really adorable partner that is apparently much skilled like him, but has more of a personality like Mineo, but with a little bit more intelligence. He's an interesting guy. Oh god, I want an anime for this game so bad. Alright, well anyway, let's get back into our analysis of the X-Day event that occurred yesterday. You could just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. As Enomoto nodded spiritedly, Yanagi muttered something.
According to Shirashi, things have been strange for a while now.
Huh?
So, are we going to hold a lecture for this stupid cat on every topic?
Huh? Is that all I can say?
Explaining every little detail to you is a colossal waste of time.
Fine, I'll go investigate by myself with Okazaki. What? Sasazaka's words struck a nerve. It was true I couldn't keep up with their discussion, and I was aware of my own limits. But you don't have to go and put it like that.
Sasazaka is already in the August case. I'll leave the rest to you. Roger that.
Yanagi changed the subject, without commenting on Sasazaka's remarks. I guess I should take his silence to mean that he agrees. It wasn't just Sasazaka. Yanagi and Enomoto also thought poorly of my detective skills. What right do you guys have to judge me? It's not like I have such access to information. But if I could give them any details on what went on in the station, that was enough. That was the only reason I was here. It was a painful realization.
So, what are you gonna do? Which case have you decided to take?
None! I looked up and blinked in confusion at the sudden question. It calmed me somewhat. I mentally reviewed everything I knew about the X-Day incidents. Sasazaka's right. This team has been pursuing the cases for a long time, so it was clear I was wasting their time by getting involved without knowing anything. You need time to learn the stuff. It's not fair for them to just give you one day to study the material. The Roman numeral left at the crime scene today was 1. The last number would be 0. There wasn't even a month left until X-Day. What can I do during that brief time? My duty, and the situation I've been forced into. When I factored them both in, it was obvious. Compared to the rest of you, I don't have any outstanding talents, nor do I have much experience with detective work. But I want to help out in any way that I possibly can.
And what can you possibly contribute?
I can listen to what people are talking about. You don't all have to look at me with wide eyes like that. When I stated it clearly, the three of them were clearly caught off guard. Don't laugh. Yesterday, when I looked through the X-Day files, what jumped out to me was a person that was neither the victim nor the assailant. The victim in this case was a woman who was once the victim of an obsessive stalker.
You're talking about July?
Yes, for a time she was suspected to be involved in the murder of the stalker. She also suffered severe backlash from the public. People were alleging that she might have been stalked through some fault of her own. Her background was thoroughly checked, but no connections were found to either the terrorist nor the man who killed the stalker. After that, her description was excised from the official documents. Whether or not she was connected to the incident, it had taken a heavy toll on her reputation. The police bear some responsibility for failing to stop the stalking in the first place. I wondered if I could meet her and ask her about what had really happened. Besides, nobody else is working on this case. I wouldn't waste the team's time, and I was sure my position would help me find some information. That was another reason I wanted to take this one. The assailant was arrested at the scene of the crime, and is currently still in detention. So gotta. He hadn't tried to commit suicide like the detained September suspect did, and he was still being held in a detention center. Whether it was actually self-defense is unknown. I want to learn the truth of this incident. After my lengthy proposal, the other three seemed to be slightly impressed. There we go, you think better of me now?
There's certainly no doubt that this woman was central to the July homicide. At a glance, it looks like someone aggravated the stalker into threatening the woman. It may very well just appear that way, but X-Day calling cards were found in the residence of the dead stalker. They've been verified as genuine. Meaning that this one was carefully planned, like the other X-Day murders. Got all that?
Yes.
Get off your high horse, you dumb protozoan. Lay off, man. It's my turn to teach the rookie. Well, it would save me some headaches to have the blind lead the blind. You're awful mouthy, seaweed head. Anyway, the July murder is the one that we've had the hardest time getting a handle on. The police have been slow to act on it. Maybe because the suspect's already in detention.
Has Shiraishi given you anything?
He's currently fixated on the September crime, so he isn't interested in anything else.
I see.
To be honest, it'd help us out if you could give us some internal info on it.
Okay. With that, the meeting ended. It was late, so Yanagi decided to walk me home. December 7th incident added to materials. Really, Yanagi, not Okazaki. While we walked down the stairs, Yanagi looked back at me with a concerned look.
Inamoto mentioned this earlier, but we haven't looked too deeply into the July incident.
There's a suspect in custody, after all.
There may not be much to learn, but contact us if you learn anything. Don't push your luck. Remember the caller.
Thank you. I was happy for his concern, but it didn't really resonate with me for some reason. A part of me was relying on Yanagi's team. Not in a tangible way, but I'd been tagging along. But that didn't sit right with me.
By the way, Hoshino, you seem pretty familiar with Kei Okazaki.
Huh? No. I just happened to run into him a few times. We're not on particularly close terms. Yeah, he's kind of dragged me along a couple times and taken a nap on my shoulder. None of it was my idea.
He plays the fool, but he's pushy.
Yeah, I noticed. But it's so adorable.
If you allow it, he'll start to grow on you.
Too late. He is like a big puppy dog.
Be careful around Okazaki. Don't let your guard down.
Huh? What do you...
What about me?
Speak of the devil. We turned around to face the voice. Okazaki was standing there, smiling. I failed to notice him again. Like I said, heroin, 0 stealth points.
When did you...
I've been here the whole time. Great, he heard the whole thing. Yanagi also seemed shocked that he failed to notice Okazaki. Those are my heroin traits rubbing off on him. I definitely can't get careless around him. It doesn't matter how hard you try. There's nothing you can do. Going home, Ichika? I'll walk you back.
No, I'm taking her home.
Yeah, I was getting the impression from a couple spots that these two aren't going to like each other too much, and they will be vying for my attention against each other. But you don't know where she lives, do you?
And you do.
No. Well, he did walk me home one time because it was late.
Then let's go. It's not your decision, Okazaki. She has to agree to it first.
If she's with someone who knows where she lives, it's better because she won't need to lead, right? Well, I guess the choice was made for me. Right now, I was walking down the street between Yanagi and Okazaki. Alright, I got a double escort. Doesn't bother me any. I have 2 gorgeous guys, 1 for each arm. Black and white. Join the Shiraishi Saiki harem. In the end, they couldn't decide which of them would walk me home. Awkward. No matter how much I refused, I was beginning to realize that Okazaki was going to follow me wherever I went. Hey, I've noticed this for a while now. Okazaki addressed Yanagi from my other side. Yanagi, you really don't like me, huh? Aww.
It's not that I dislike you.
I understood what Yanagi wanted to say. He's doing this because he's worried about the collar. I would be in danger if the collar was exposed. Also, Yanagi didn't seem to accept the reason that Okazaki had provided for why he was protecting the team. Yeah, basically he can't trust you. It's not that he dislikes him, but he probably just can't trust him. I don't know, I think he does actually dislike him.
We know that you're keeping us under surveillance. Obviously, We don't want to get involved with you.
Oh, did you think that I was reporting everything you do to the police?
Anyone would think that.
Anyway, setting aside my mission for the time being.
You really think you can just ignore it like that?
Just for now. I honestly just want to get to know you better.
Why?
Because I'm curious? Me and Yanagi. While Yanagi and I were at a loss for an answer, Okazaki changed the subject. Earlier, he mentioned the July homicide. Could you be reopening the case? I involuntarily stiffened up. Just how long he'd been eavesdropping on the conversation? He said from the beginning. No, it was just something I'd taken personal interest in, so I was asking Yanagi about it. Okazaki smiled softly as I fumbled around for an excuse. No need to get so nervous. I won't tell anyone about your job. You've got some reason for being here, right? You're worried about me because I'm also a cop. You don't have to be so cautious. I'm just asking out of curiosity. Yanagi was very obviously having a hard time swallowing Okazaki's supposedly flighty bouts of curiosity. His face said that he was confused because he didn't know what Okazaki was thinking. July, huh? People said it was justified self-defense, though. The assailant was immediately arrested and confessed to killing the man in order to protect the woman from her stalker. They're deciding it's excessive self-defense. I feel a bit bad for him being arrested when he acted in order to protect someone.
You feel sorry for him. Self-defense or not, killing is killing. It can't be allowed.
Yanagi's tone was unusually forceful. His expression grew stern.
Besides, the assailant had previously been marked as a potential suspect for the May killing. If you view the X-Day crimes as a whole, anyone would think he was suspicious.
A potential suspect. Plus, he also had a solid alibi back in May. He did protect the woman from that stalker, didn't he? Sometimes, sacrifices have to be made.
That doesn't mean you can just kill people. There's never a good reason to take a life.
They continued their debate across me. Neither looked like they would back down. They seemed to be incompatible. The way they think is completely opposite. Both of them had valuable perspectives about the July case. I reflected on that digression. I've had enough of you two. I'm just gonna go off on my own thoughts here. I see Yanagi and Okazaki off and headed back to my apartment. Near my house, I saw a silhouette. Oh, Kazuki, and he's actually smiling. He's back early today. I felt relief as I went to talk to him. See you tomorrow at the studio. So he's just smiling because he hasn't seen me yet. Yeah, I'll be waiting. I noticed that Kazuki was talking with someone. Wait, are we gonna have a lot of overlap with Mineo's route in this? He dresses loudly. Is that Kazuki's friend? But I recognized him from somewhere. While I was thinking about that, both of them headed off. What should I do? I missed my chance. Kazuki stays out often recently, and he also goes out late at night too. If he's hanging out with the wrong people... follow Kazuki. I think it's kind of a bad idea for either, but... Because, obviously we're gonna get caught, and no matter who we follow, they're gonna be angry. But, well, we're following Kazuki. If it feels like the timing is right, I should try and ask him. Well, why don't we call out to him instead of following him? He'd tell me to not get involved, or that it didn't concern me, and try to change the subject. I sighed at the predictable outcome, while I followed Kazuki inside. Now we're in the underground church. Oh great, another voice that I have no idea what to do with. Please forgive me if I choose the voice poorly.
0. I wasn't told a thing about the incident the agent carried out today. There should only have been one countdown in December, so why do this? To increase them? What do you mean? The agents move on your orders. I can't control them once they do. You're doing this despite knowing that. Her. Ichika Hoshino, the collar experiment subject. Is she curious about July? You've taken quite the interest in her. No, never mind. 0. Our long-awaited goal is right before us. Don't distract yourself with trivialities. Even if we have chosen the wrong path, the oath we swore long ago is...
December 8th, 7 a.m. Oh, so when we said follow Kazuki, that was just meant just go into the house behind him. We weren't actually following him anywhere. We were just going inside the house with him. Well, that was rather misleading. The next day, I was listening to the news on TV while making breakfast for Kazuki. Judgment of the stalker manslaughter incident in July, considered the X-Day crime, is still mired in delays. Was it justified self-defense or not? The point was still undetermined. No progress, huh? I turned off the gas stove and transferred the omelet to a plate. Kazuki. Kazuki, breakfast is ready. You should eat it before it gets cold. I waited for a while, but no answer came. With a sigh, I returned to the living room to get ready to go to work. When I get to the station, the first thing I should do is read more about the July incident in the database. I want to speak to detectives who were on the case at the time, but they might get suspicious if I approach them without a legitimate reason. Still, it's best to ask someone who was there. Then what excuse can I come up with? I walked, thinking about my next steps. Hey, this is where the cats are. Are we going to meet Shiraishi? Ah! I wasn't paying attention as I walked, and I bumped into someone.
That hurt. Watch where you're going.
I'm sorry.
Well, aren't you a cutie? Why don't you spend some time with us?
I'll pass. I'm on the way to work.
Why don't you just call in sick?
I just walked into a load of trouble. Okazaki, save us! It might be quicker to show I'm a police officer, but if they had some animosity toward the police, it would invite even further trouble. I'm in a hurry. Can't take no for an answer. When I just tried to push past the two insistent men, one of them grabbed my arm.
You just bumped into us. You don't really seem like you're all that apologetic.
He raised his voice, then...
Ow!
The man let go of my arm with a genuine yelp of pain, unlike earlier. I don't like people who are violent against women. Hooray, you did show up at just the right time. Okazaki? Okazaki had suddenly appeared from behind, twisting the man's arm. He casually sent the man flying away with one hand. Wow.
You punk!
Okazaki dodged the punch from the side with ease, and sent the second man hurling into a wall with a kick.
Asshole!
He effortlessly threw the third man, who rushed at him from behind. His movements were so fluid, I thought I was watching a dance performance. Oh, I want to see this animated! You shouldn't inconvenience a lady. Okazaki gently scolded them, without showing any sign of needing to catch his breath.
Whoa!
The men scrambled away, each trying to outpace the other. Are you okay, Ichika? Thanks to you. Okazaki turned to me with a genuine look of concern. Thank you very much. You saved me. I'm glad you didn't get hurt. But what are you doing here? It seemed I'd mischaracterized him. Rather than appearing and disappearing like a ghost, it was more like he was always around. Don't tell me he's like this with everyone. Of course not. He can't be around everyone at the same time always. Why is he sticking around me in particular of everybody else? From the very moment I started showing up at the detective agency. On the way to work? Yes. Turns out I have business there too, actually. Huh? What a coincidence. Well, we do both work for the police. It seems that I have been overly self-conscious. Why don't we go together? Saying that, he turned to me and offered me his hand for some reason. Oh, Why the hand? I just stared at it for a moment. Then Yanagi just grabbed my hand. Yanagi, where'd you come from? Oh wait, they meant Kei. Darn it. Another typo. It's dangerous for you. Let's walk holding hands. Excuses, excuses. Huh? No thank you. It's not any safer this way. It's safer for him to keep from losing you. In response to me saying that, he simply grabbed my hand even more tightly and began tugging me as he walked. Your hand's a little cold. Okazaki. He was acting like this was nothing, but he was unwilling to let go of my hand. Look at that smile! It's already December. I'm fine with this weather, but Yoshinari is always whining about how he can't take the cold. Yeah, I can see how you never wear your jacket properly. You're even worse than Mineo about that. I was sure that I was signaling my displeasure, but Okazaki ignored it and kept walking. He really was stubborn. Isn't it a little hard to be a bodyguard while you're holding hands? No, he's fast enough. This isn't for my job. I just wanted to hold your hand. Oh, I see. When he said it that assertively, I found myself stupidly unwilling to resist for some reason. Yanagi warned me, and I still fell for it. This will be embarrassing if anyone sees this. You shouldn't space out too much while you walk. It's dangerous to bump into people. You could get into a fight again. Huh? If he had seen me walking while I was spaced out... So, he was tailing me after all. Am I under surveillance? Okazaki smiled in a comforting way. Maybe my doubts had shown on my face. I wasn't really following you. Don't worry, I just happened to see you. I'm sorry. It's okay. Mud, if you'd allow it, I'd like to follow you and protect you 24/7. What? You seem like a serious sort, but you're careless and that worries me. I appreciate the thought, but I must decline your offer. Knowing Okazaki, if I accepted, he'd seriously follow me around 24 hours a day. Then I'll call it quits for now. But if something like that happens again, I'll really consider round-the-clock protection. What, you can just pick who you want to protect? And still get paid? That'd be really nice. Okay, I'll be careful. I'll try not to show you any openings next time. That's kind of a pity too. Okazaki smiled gently as always. I couldn't tell if he was joking or not. Somehow, I seemed to allow him to do whatever he wants, and let him dictate everything. We'd only met a few days ago, but it felt like every time we met, he was leading me around. He always approached me without hesitation. I'd fail to refuse, and then this would happen.
Be careful around Okazaki. Don't let your guard down.
I promise I'll heed your warning in your own route, Yanagi. I recalled what Yanagi said. I know that I had to be cautious, but... His palm was warm. So were some of his smiles and words. I didn't think they were coming from ill will. Ichika, what's wrong? While I was mulling it over, I startled as he examined my face. I was so startled that I suddenly gripped his hand tightly. While I did, he returned the grip, smiling all the while. Oh. Suddenly, I felt even worse. Your hand. Hand? Isn't this inappropriate? Isn't this inappropriate for an SP officer? Huh? Oh, doesn't an SP officer need to have both hands free at all times? You're right. But this'll be fine. I'll know right away if there's a hostile threat. Oh, I see. I've heard that you're good at detecting danger. We've seen that he's good at detecting danger. If it's you, I feel like you'd protect your subject and be able to escape from danger. I just blurted out whatever I could think of to hide my embarrassment. Suddenly, Okazaki's smile disappeared. But it was only for an instant. Yeah, I'll protect you no matter what. He whispered, his tone deeply gentle. That's my job after all. His smile was the same as usual, but I had noticed something different for a moment. Something similar must have happened before. Hey, doesn't this calm you down? Huh? When I saw you looking really uncomfortable, I thought that holding hands like this might help you relax. No, it made me more nervous. When you hold hands, your fears go away a bit, because you know you're not alone, right? To help me relax. I thought he was treating me like a child, but when I thought back to how I'd gotten mixed up with those thugs, honestly, this isn't really relaxing at all, but it does help a bit. The warmth of his hand had indeed spread to my heart. Okazaki grinned in response. That's good. While I walked with Okazaki, I occasionally glanced at our hands. My embarrassment slowly eroded as I normalized this behavior, and it was replaced with relief. So he really was just worried about me. Obviously, I had been a little scared when those men surrounded me. As a cop, it felt kind of lame, but I wasn't sure if I could skillfully exit that situation. Now, though, I felt calm. It's thanks to Okazaki. Maybe he had noticed how I was feeling and reached out to help me, while acting like it was for his own satisfaction. Maybe I've wronged him. Regardless of Okazaki's true intentions, it was true that he had protected me. Still, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that I was betraying the police. Was I still someone worth protecting? Maybe I've taken advantage of his kindness. Perhaps I had used his stubbornness as an excuse and ultimately failed to reject his advances because deep down, a part of me wanted to trust him. When I was with him, I could relax, just a little, and not think about my collar, the X-Day crimes, or my precarious situation. I'm really not cautious enough, am I? Nope, not at all. But I'm the one who chose this route for you. I'm fine now. We were inside of the police station now, so I broke free from his hand. If my colleagues saw me now, I had no idea how they would react. A breeze whipped through my warmed hand, and the cool sensation now made me feel a tinge of loneliness. Okay, it's too bad, but there would be problems if people saw. Maybe he really was concerned for me. He was worried about appearances, so I guess he hadn't done it out of selfishness. It was hard to tell what this man was thinking, but I sensed his actions stemmed from goodwill. Sorry for dragging you all this way. No, you were just worried. Thank you for holding my hand. I told you, I just wanted to hold your hand. Okazaki smiled kindly, still pretending to be obstinate. Maybe it's both things. I returned his words with a slight smile and started to cross the street when it was green. Then... Suddenly, a commotion broke out around us. Huh? Seeing Okazaki reach for his holster, I also readied myself. I looked over and saw... smoke. A fire?
Hey, is that a fire? It's really close, isn't it?
Hey, check your phone! There's a weird stream on the video sites again. Oh no, something's burning. Is that next day thing again? Ichika. Right. I quickly started to take out my phone, but I could hear a voice already playing on the bystanders' phones.
There are 23 days left until X Day, the rebirth.
That was...
a countdown. Another X Day crime might have already happened.
I hurriedly searched for the video on my phone.
Yep, it's the burned corpse.
It showed a fire burning at a familiar-looking park. I'll call it in.
Tomochida. Is that you, Hoshino? There's an X Day video.
Yes, I'm close to the place in the video now. Fire in the residential area near Shinjuku PD. I'm en route to the scene.
Alright, I'll relay that to Investigations HQ. I'll be there soon too, be careful.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming too.
Okazaki nodded firmly, and we set off.
More the merrier.
The fire had broken out in the park within the residential area. It had just started burning, so firefighters and police hadn't arrived yet. Instead, neighbors and bystanders were gathering around the park to watch. Police! It's dangerous, everyone! Please, stay back! Okazaki and I raised our voices as we pushed our way through the crowd to the source of the fire. What looked like a human figure had been left in front of the restrooms. Wait! As soon as I tried to run over to the figure, Okazaki quickly pulled me back. It's dangerous to get any closer. But somebody's in there! The blaze is unnaturally strong. I can smell gasoline all over this place. It's been spread over a pretty wide area. We don't have to worry about an explosion, but it looks like bundles of paper have been scattered all around the area where the blaze started. Why didn't you notice all this, Ichika? There might be something else. Possibly explosives hidden in the restroom. The person in the middle of the fire isn't moving. They might have lost consciousness from carbon monoxide poisoning. We can't help them now. Okazaki was incredibly calm, and he coolly analyzed the situation. He was probably right too, but what if it's possible we can still save them? I frantically looked around for a fire extinguisher, but I couldn't see anything of the like. Pouring water on a gasoline fire was a bad idea, but maybe I could smother the fire. As I hesitated, the fire spread to a nearby tree and grew fiercer. We have to do something! We have to help! In my confusion, I tried to approach the fire again, but Okazaki's grip only grew stronger. Let me go! There's nothing you can do right now. So is there something you can do? Okazaki, I'm sure you could save... There's nothing I can do for them either. We have other priorities right now. What other priorities? What could possibly be more important than saving that person? Ichika, calm down. This might have been the first time I'd ever heard Okazaki sound angry. I stiffened in surprise. Calm down. There are a lot of other people right here now. It's our duty to prioritize their safety. That's something you need to do now. It's something that only you can do. Yes, we must prioritize the evacuation. This is what I can do now. After Okazaki helped me regain my composure, I assessed the situation around me. Oh, and actually there I should stop. Getting too into this. Yeah, it kind of feels like, he's totally just shadowing me. It's like, is he even watching the guys at the office at all anymore? Or is it just me now? Well, I guess we'll see soon enough. Hope to see you in the next video or some of my other ones. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.